That's really more the first record. And then we put out the first single, Slowly Slipping Away, and it did great in this country. Grunge hadn't hit yet, but it was about to within months. So there was such a short little window of where we thought, oh, this is going really well and awesome. We even flew to Los Angeles and had meetings with Warner Brothers, Geffen Records at the time. They loved the first record. They loved it. They thought Slowly Slipping Away was a giant hit, and they were ready to put it out. The minute grunge hit, every one of them said, we can't put out this record. It won't work. If we would have put out our first record a year earlier, we may have reached the status of, a Def Leppard or something like that. We were signed to Warner Music, but we signed in Canada. So you get a guaranteed release in the country that you're signed in. But what happens is that every other country in the world, all the Warner affiliates around the world, they get to decide whether they want to release our record or not. And so even when we signed a record deal, we knew we were signing an international record deal with Warner, which sounds great, but we didn't understand that every country could deny putting out our record if they didn't want to. We didn't know that. So we just put out our record, and then we found out, it's coming out in Spain, it's coming out in Portugal. That was our first record, and that's it. And so the biggest territories in the world, like USA, all the rest of Europe, all of Asia, nobody put out our first record. So by the time Mood Swings came around, we had 53 countries that released Mood Swings. So that was really our first big record that broke internationally. And that's why a lot of people think Mood Swings was our first record. Mood Swings came out first in Japan. Then because it did so well, they released the first record again. It was just whatever happened at the time. But, to answer your question, the musical climate really, really changed in 1991. And then by the time Mood Swings came out, nobody wanted to know anything about a band with long hair that looked the way we did, that sounded the way we did. We were on tour with Foreigner in Canada when they got dropped by the record company. And so we thought to ourselves, Foreigner sold 80 million records. If they're willing to drop them, and we've sold couple 100,000 records, like where are we in that whole thing? So little did we know that would be the kiss of death for us, at radio and just with the record company in general. But, we did so well in Asia, specifically Japan and some territories in Europe, that the record company didn't drop us. And we ended up doing 7 records for Warner on a 7-album deal. So we literally finished our record deal with Warner when everybody else that had long hair and was making hard rock records got dropped from their label. So we were in a very weird, unique situation where nobody gave a shit about what we were doing in Canada or North America in general, but pockets of Europe and specifically Asia, we were selling records and doing really well. So it's a very bizarre career.